For centuries, people have feared the idea of the dead refusing to stay buried. The vampire, the pale, blood-drinking figure of nightmare, didn't just crawl out of folklore. It was born out of superstition, disease, and fear in times of crisis. Nearly every culture has some version of a blood drinker. In Mesopotamia, demons like Lamashtu preyed on infants. In ancient Greece, the Lamia was a woman who fed on young men. And in Slavic lands, the Upir was said to rise from its grave to drink the life out of neighbors. These weren't just scary stories. They were explanations. Before science, people turned to the supernatural to make sense of sudden death, wasting sickness, or terrifying visions in the night. But the real explosion of vampire hysteria came in Eastern Europe during the 1600s and 1700s. War, plague, and famine haunted everyday life, and when disease struck, the imagination filled in the rest. One of the biggest culprits was tuberculosis, or consumption. Families would watch their loved ones grow pale, cough blood, and waste away, as if their very life was being drained. When more family members fell ill, suspicion fell on the dead. Someone in the grave must be feeding on them. Other diseases added fuel. Rabies, with its biting, fear of water, and sensitivity to light, mirrored vampire behavior. Even decomposition tricked people into believing. Corpses sometimes bloated, leaked dark fluid from the mouth, or made strange noises as gas escaped. To frightened villagers, it looked like proof that the body had been feeding at night. Between 1720 and 1750, panic gripped villages across Serbia, Hungary, and Poland. Newspapers carried chilling reports of vampire outbreaks. One of the most famous cases was Arnold Paoli, a Serbian soldier. After his death in 1726, villagers claimed he rose from the grave and killed several people. When his body was exhumed, they found it unnaturally preserved, with blood at the lips. Terrified, they staked and burned the corpse, and did the same to others they suspected. To protect the living, communities turned to grim rituals. Corpses were buried with stakes through the heart, stones in the mouth, or heads removed. Some were pinned with sickles across the throat so they couldn't rise again. It gave people a sense of control over a world they didn't understand. As medicine advanced in the late 18th and 19th centuries, vampire panics began to fade. But the legends didn't die. They transformed into literature. In 1819, John Polidori's The Vampire introduced a new type of monster, the elegant, aristocratic predator. Later, Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1897 cemented the image of the vampire as we know it today. Dark, romantic, and terrifying. Stoker drew not only on folklore, but on modern fears, disease, sexuality, even the anxiety of foreign invasion. From there, the vampire stepped out of graveyards and into pop culture. Today, it dominates books, movies, television, and games, sometimes as a monster, sometimes as a tragic hero. But behind the gothic castles and silver screen romance lies a far older story, one of real communities struck by disease, trying to explain the unexplained. The vampire is more than a myth. It's a reflection of how fear spreads in uncertain times, how death, sickness, and rumor can become legends that outlive the people who first believed them. The undead may never have walked among us, but the terror they inspired was very real.